What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Ace of Base. And we're going to do a special 2-for-1 this time. Once again, big shout out to Mikey, not only a supporter of the Ace of Base deep dive, but someone who's just become a friend of mine and someone who shows up in some different places on the channel, including garbage reactions. Which reminds me, I'm angry, I forgot to mention. I did an Alison Moyet reaction, and I was so blown away by her vocal performance that at the end of the reaction, I forgot to mention that there were parts of the Sonics I was like, man, you know, if this was a couple years later and if you changed the voice, I feel like this could maybe be a garbage song. So that just came back to me now as we begin this completely unrelated reaction. I do apologize. In any case, yeah, we're going to listen to the second tune on Flowers, which in the moment I'm forgetting the year of the album, though I do think I have the Discogs page out, so let me consult it. 1998. And the second tune is called Always Have, Always Will, but Mikey pointed out to me that it's a reworking of a demo they had done called Killers on a Rampage, or Killer on a Rampage, sorry, singular. So, yeah, we're going to listen to the album version from Flowers, and then we'll listen to the earlier incarnation of the track. So, Always Have, Always Will, it's, you know, an indication of continuity, the idea that something has been done a certain way and will continue to be done that way into the foreseeable future or indefinitely. So, yeah, I wonder, you know, what that attitude is or what that disposition is or what that behavior is. So, curious, or perhaps it's a process, which I guess technically would be behavior in the long term. In any case, let's find out. This is Ace of Base. The tune is Always Have, Always Will, the second track on their 1998 album, Flowers. Hello, Motown vibes. percussive pop to the drums as it rolls over the measure. But seriously, it feels like a direct homage to that Motown 60s sing-along type of tune, like a real... It's always on repeat. I apologize. I use that player for a lot of things, and sometimes I have it on repeat because I'll have it like, something on in the background while I'm doing work on my computer, and then I forget this, and then tracks start over. See a number of tracks in the ABBA deep dive. In any case, yeah, I love that like 60s Motown, whether it's like a girl or guy group. But I really enjoyed that flavor of tune. There's a sincerity to a lot of the songs. But it's funny, as this was playing out, I was like, it feels very genuine. Every time you're around, I want to touch you, I want to tell you how much you mean to me. But it felt like there was maybe an undercurrent. And then we get to the end, and it's like, and sometimes I don't even know what you do to me and, why I feel this way. But I guess that's part of what it's like to be in love. It doesn't always make sense. It doesn't always come across as, clearly understandable and logical. So it felt like it was still overall like very positive, even if it acknowledges that sometimes you can't help the way you feel, that it's just what it's like to be human and to have emotion and to be in love. So which again, that is very much the lyrical terrain of a lot of those like vintage 60s Motown tunes. So this feels very much in like a perfect place to be paying homage to that that musical pedigree. Now, that being said, the title for the other version we're going to listen to now, Killer on a Rampage, it's a very different sort of title from Always Have, Always Will, which really, even though I was a bit hesitant to make too much of a judgment in advance on that, it ultimately is something where, like, anyone who says that is saying it surely in a positive way, even if it's about a negative, like, oh, you never do that? No, always have, always will. That's my fault. Like, I don't get involved in that or whatever. Like, ultimately, anyone saying the phrase seemingly is indicating it as something, to be praised, or at least in a positive sense from their point of view. Killer on a Rampage is a hard phrase to, interpret in a positive way. And, a rampage indicates that they are, taking out more than one person. Now, even if this isn't literal, it could be, someone who's a, interpersonal monster and, mauls anyone that comes into their life. So I do wonder what's at play here and just how it may connect. I suppose it could literally only be a sonic connection. I don't remember in the moment when Mikey said, I apologize. There's, these days there's so much information and I do my best to keep it all in front of me, but it doesn't always work. Nevertheless, even saying that, I don't really mind it that much, and that when that happens, people will comment and others will bring in insights. So, nevertheless, in the moment, I don't remember if it's more just a sonic connection and, completely reworked. But yeah, one would assume so, given the vastly divergent nature of the titles. In any case, let's hear it. This is Ace of Base, Killer, or on the Rampage. Sorry, it was an indefinite article I was using, but it is the Rampage. So yes, here we go. Ace of Base, Killer on the Rampage, which is apparently a demo version of a track that appears as Always Have, Always Will on their Flowers album. Definitely more dance. I was meaning to mention there were like xylophone in the other version that I enjoyed.
I will fight for my belongings when you try to rip them apart. When you hurt my family and friends, I stay. Oh, what readers wants to read.
I think it's the 303
I
in there.
couldn't care less what they name my life in harmony. I'm a killer on the Rampage tonight. I'm a killer.
Tonight
No matter side, I'm a killer.
makes it feel more literal.
Don't ever come close to me on the Rampage. I'm a
I love that.
You are trying to destroy me. Will you pass through heaven's gate? 'Cause to please you is too much. Catch 22. Oh, illusions but fair play. Oh, do hastily fly away. I'm the killer on the rampage tonight. I'm a killer. You know by the side of my eyes. Don't ever come close to me on the rampage. I'm the killer on the rampage tonight. I'm a killer. You know by the side of my
There's a
eyes.
lovely contradiction or irony to the tone and the line of the chorus.
I'm a killer on the rampage tonight. I'm a killer. You know by the side of my eyes. Don't ever come close to me on the rampage. I'm a killer on the rampage tonight. I'm a killer. You know by the side of my eyes. Don't ever come close to me on the rampage. I'm a killer on the rampage tonight. I'm a killer. You know by the side of my eyes. Don't ever come close to me on the rampage. I'm a killer on the rampage tonight. I'm a killer. You know by the side of my
This media player does not loop. Okay, so number one, it's really interesting. There's a lovely irony to it. It just has this, delightful, fun feeling still, if more electrified, more dance-oriented, not crazy. It's not, like a driving trance tune, but it definitely has more of an electronic and, like kick drum kind of sound. But it still has that light and bubbly feel to the sonics and the melody, but now with lyrics that are seemingly, very out of place, although I've talked about it before in different deep dives. I enjoy when a song does that, where it'll have sonics that are either very up with lyrics that are very, bad or intense or down or depressive, or vice versa, where the music is very heavy and somber and the lyrics are very bright and cheery. So I enjoy that type of juxtaposition, but it was really interesting here, whereas again the first song may have had a I don't know if I always understand why I'm feeling this way, and maybe it's sort of a trick that my brain, what you do to me, but it still was like, you mean a lot, I want you to know that, I want to be with you when you're close to me. This was like, you don't come near me ever, like, I'm a killer on a rampage tonight. Now again, that could still be metaphorical, someone who's like, having a bad encounter with one person and they sort of rush into the arms of someone else and then, ruin that person's evening or life. But again, to condense a rampage to an evening suggests something more physical and kinetic, rather than just over the course of months and years you end up hurting people close to you in a more gradual way. So like a very intense placement of that sonic atmosphere, like lyrically, which I enjoy, whereas again the other version on the album Flowers felt more straight away. And in that regard, I guess, like, what seems like, and maybe I'm misreading one or both of these tunes, but what seems like a more straightaway sort of Motown homage with a positive sentiment, if one that acknowledges the sort of confusion and mystifying experience of having strong emotions where you're not always sure why or what it is about this other person. That feels like a more, let's say, commercial tune, a tune that would be more likely on an album, whereas this one feels more maybe like a B-side. Now, I still think, there are groups that I'm going through, like Dubstar. If they were to do a tune like that, I would not be in any way surprised, because, they have tracks where, like, it's, there's one, what is it called, like, I Wanna Be Your, or I'll Be Your Girlfriend, or something like that. And it's like, you realize by the end she's basically a stalker. So it's like, it sounds so pleasant and nice, and it's like, oh, wait a minute. So again, like, that dynamic here, where it's a very pleasant, like, melodic sound still, but with lyrics that are like, they sound terrifying. It's a really interesting dynamic, and, again, I get why maybe that wasn't the version used on the album. But I'm very glad to have heard it, and shout out to Mikey. I'm not sure which one I like more. I'm a huge Motown guy. Again, like, I haven't done nearly enough reactions, but, this is a Motown, it's based on the Motown musical, but one of the discs is originals, and that, I listen to that one far more often than the one from the actual musical, no offense to it. But the point is, I'm a big fan of Motown, but people will know I'm also a big fan of electronic infused dance music. So yeah, in the moment I'm not sure which version I like better, but I like the audacity of this version. So yeah, cool juxtaposition, and again, a cool original, or I suppose not original, but the version that actually ended up on an album. That is cool as well, in its sincerity, or so it would seem. In any case, I'll stop talking. I do mention a lot that when I'm talking a lot and essentially babbling after a reaction, it's a good sign that I've really enjoyed what I've listened to. So we'll take it as that. Shout out to Mikey and Pascal, and to all the others who've been commenting on the Ace of Base reactions. You are greatly appreciated. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.